Hi everyone, I'm really happy to be back with this new video, and I wanted to talk about this upcoming solar eclipse on the 8th of April because it's going to be a very powerful and intense eclipse. And more generally, I'm also going to talk about this eclipse season that we've just entered. And actually the opening portal for the eclipse season was the spring equinox on the 20th of March. Then we had on the 25th of March the lunar eclipse in the sign of Libra, and we have the grand finale with this total solar eclipse on the 8th of April. And this is going to be visible in North America, so the United States, Canada, and possibly Mexico, I think. So it's really interesting to see that, let's say that the bigger picture for these eclipses, the main theme, let's say, that I can really perceive is that we have really this kind of balancing out of the two polarities of yin and yang, masculine and feminine. And we've had the lunar eclipse, we're going to have the solar eclipse, and they are happening in two signs that are very related to masculine and feminine energies, because we have the sign of Libra, which is connected to the planet Venus, and we have the sign of Aries, which is connected to the planet of Mars. So on one side we have Venus with love, beauty. On the other side we have Mars, Aries, this kind of solar warrior. And we really feel that these two energies collectively need to be balanced out, because, as you know, for millennia there has been a kind of out of balance concerning these two polarities. The masculine has dominated, the shadow of the masculine, actually, the shadow aspect of the masculine has dominated, abused, tried to control everything on Earth, tried to destroy also, you know, Mother Earth or humanity or animals. And now we are also perceiving these past years that this feminine energy is rising more and more, and we call that, of course, the return of the divine feminine. But the return of the divine feminine, which means that more feminine values are going to come up more and more, like, you know, love, compassion, softness, fluidity, because what I'm perceiving is also that, you know, the feminine energy is always in flow. And the best element that is associated with the feminine is water. So you can really imagine this water flowing, like, you know, really like a stream, gently. And that's really the energy, the collective energy that we are heading towards more and more. We're heading towards more flow in our lives. You know, things like being in the flow and allowing things to happen, and be in a more allowing state, which is also connected to the feminine energy. Because the masculine energy has a tendency to be more rigid, like, you know, like more controlling. And this is really starting to crumble. This control of the masculine is really starting to crumble, and we are starting to see that in a more concrete way also in the collective with, you know, recent events. So it's really interesting what's happening right now. And I think these eclipses are really going to be a kind of turning point, a crucial point for humanity. And this is why I called this video "The Light Has Already Won," which is a reference to a video that I actually came out that I did in 2020 when, you know, we were in lockdown, because there's a very similar energy right now, which is this more or less the same period, like, you know, end of March, beginning of April, that we had in 2020. Only this time in 2024, it's like we are really rising up to a next level in consciousness. So there was an opening of consciousness in 2020 during that period, and now we are also experiencing this same opening of consciousness. So generally, when we speak about eclipses, it always tells us about something ending or something beginning. And also because for a solar eclipse, like the total solar eclipse that we are going to witness, at least if you are in North America, you'll be able to see it. Well, this really kind of relates to the fact that because the sun like becomes dark, like there's a shadow in front of the sun for a couple of minutes, it means that we are going to dive into the collective shadow. We're going to dive into this collective shadow for it to be revealed by the light. So this is a very powerful energy that we're experiencing with this eclipse. And actually, when I was filming this video in French, just when I was saying that, there was a fighter jet flying just above my house. So it was really a very, very strong sound happening. So that was like the confirmation that it's going to be kind of powerful and intense, you know, this eclipse. And this is why, for me, this is really like the turning point for humanity, because more and more revelations, really important revelations, are really rising to the surface. Like really kind of, you know, shadowy stuff that we need to address. So there will be a lot of scandals happening, a lot of public people also involved in, you know, not very luminous stuff, to say the least. And also what we will be experiencing is that there will be a lot of, you know, like, as I said, scandals, but also kind of people being arrested and maybe, you know, put to trial, etc. And of course, we've seen also recently recent events that, you know, also relate to conflict. So this is also something that is still present. But I just wanted to mention that it's not because, you know, like we experience that as conflict, that it's something that is wrong or that is bad. It's actually part of the divine plan, and we just need to have faith in what is happening, that is happening for the good. I also wanted to tell you why I actually called this video, you know, the final stage, game over. So about 10 days ago, I was just sitting, you know, at a cafe, on the terrace of a cafe, and I was watching people go by. And usually when I'm relaxed and I'm like in a state of receptivity, I start to feel, I start to receive things. And so I was feeling the collective energy. And what I was feeling is that it's like the vice is tightening more and more for the shadow on this planet. It's almost like they don't have room to maneuver anymore. So it's true that sometimes we think that they are still able, you know, to create like, you know, big events, like traumatic events for the collective. But what I was feeling is that because they have less and less room to maneuver, it's, you know, more every day that passes, it's more and more unlikely that it's actually going to happen, which doesn't mean there's still a potential, a probability for it to happen. It's still there, you know, this kind of this final this final act, this final try to overtake, but of course it's going to fail. The vice is so tightening that it becomes more and more difficult for the shadow to do anything, actually. And the moment I was receiving that, I saw a little boy pass by, and he had a t-shirt, a kind of, you know, video game t-shirt, and on this t-shirt there was a big "game over" written on it. So I thought, wow, thanks so much for that confirmation. I felt so joyful, because even though I didn't have any doubt that the light has already won, I didn't have for 1 second any doubt about it for the past 4 years. I've been always talking about that. But it's always nice and extraordinary to receive really synchronistically this kind of sign, you know. And on the t-shirt there was actually a T-Rex. So there was "game over" and a T-Rex. So also this is for me a message, you know, concerning maybe the reptilian consciousness that has been present on this planet. And so this was a message really directed towards that consciousness specifically. So I was really, really, really happy, and I really felt in that moment, okay, like, it's done. Game over, it's done. I mean, there's not even another possibility for humanity, for the collective currently. And after that, I had this image and I heard this sentence: humanity is walking towards its destiny. And I was seeing people walk on a very luminous path, and there was this huge light portal with a huge light, and humanity was walking through that light. And I became very emotional when I was telling this when I was filming it in French, actually, because it was really, I still have the image in my head. It's really beautiful to watch. And it's really like, you know, having this feeling that we're there now. We have arrived. We have arrived. This light is here. The light has won. And it's almost like the feeling of having like the red carpet rolled out for us, you know? Like as light workers, our time has come. The red carpet is rolled out for us, and we just need now, you know, to stand up, to stand in our light, and just to spread that light. That's all we need to do. We just need to spread that light, and that light is already here. You know, it's really present on Earth. And I shared with you certain anecdotes recently when I went to Paris in the beginning of the year. You know, I was expecting like to see maybe, you know, maybe negative things happening all around, but it was quite the contrary. It was filled with light and love, and that's really was one of the signs, and the beginning of the signs that we are experiencing this transition from 3D to 4D to 5D. It's really, really happening now. And with these eclipses, we are experiencing a very big opening in consciousness for humanity. And that's why it's related to what happened in 2020, because there was also this big opening then. So I'm really, really happy about it. And I just wanted to share with you all. And lastly, I also wanted to mention that because there are a lot of revelations coming out concerning, you know, the shadow, the negative on this planet, there are also revelations coming from the side of the light. And these revelations are really connected to what I call the ancestral wisdom. Because the ancestral wisdom on this planet is going to emerge more and more. And by ancestral wisdom, I mean like hidden knowledge, esoteric knowledge that has been hidden to humanity for millennia. Knowledge about also the real Christic history and story. You know, what was the true story of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, for example, and also these, you know, these spiritual values from the very beginning of you know, the Christ story, and not what religion has done with it. With religion, it became something very dogmatic and used for control. And we're coming back to this kind of the primordial knowledge, the spiritual knowledge that was present at the very beginning of Christianity. And also it relates to ancient wisdom that we can connect through ancient civilizations. Also that has been hidden, you know, to humanity. Who are they? What did they bring to Earth? What can we reclaim from this knowledge that also belongs to us in a way? And also I wanted to mention the Cathars, which you know, lived in the south of France, which were really pioneers, spiritual pioneers for everything that is happening in the world, in the collective right now. And they have been, of course, persecuted for that. And I just wanted to, you know, mention them because their spirit is still alive, and we can really connect to what they brought also to humanity, which, because they lived in a society that was free, they were connected to all this ancient knowledge, esoteric knowledge, but also to, you know, the true Christ energy of love. And Mary Magdalene, they were also very connected to Mary Magdalene. So this Cathar spirit is also, there's kind of this renewal, this renaissance of this spirit, and I'm really, really happy about that. So that's all I have for you today. I hope this information was useful for you, and I was really happy to share all this good news. And I will see you soon. Take care. Sat Nam.